பேசுகிறேன்னு சொன்னாங்க, நம்பர் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. நான் சொன்னேன் இப்போ முடியாது ரஜனா, காலையில் நாளைக்கு அவங்களோட காலையில் டைமுக்கும் நைட்டுக்கு பேசணும் அப்படின்னேன். அப்படியா, சரி சரி அப்படின்னா. உங்களுக்கும் அனுப்பியிருக்காங்கன்னா எனக்கும் அனுப்பியிருக்காங்கன்னா பெரணிட்டில் இருக்காங்க. சொன்னால் எனக்கு இப்போ ஆரம்பிச்சுட்டாங்க, அதான் டக்குன்னு சொன்னேன்.
Okay, so final part of the class, and I start the lesson 4, and we explore these topics one by one. I hope you already have a big picture view with the help of Jamboard. So customer centricity and design thinking. So it's more about reminding. Again, it's not like SAFe is the only way of becoming customer centric. Even you are following any method, you are expected to focus on what your customer needs. But at the same time, SAFe also reminds that, when you follow the framework, don't forget the customer. So whenever you think of agile product delivery, you need to focus on what my customer really need. Because if you connect with the customer well, if you understand their need and expectation well, you will get more revenue, more engagement with your employee, because they will also feel satisfied by serving your customer. So it overall help us in achieving the better business results. Now, customer centricity from a SAFe perspective is a way of thinking. They call it's a mindset. And this mindset can be achieved with the help of some techniques, which we call it design thinking technique. So customer centricity is a mindset of keeping customer in the center of decision making, customer as your primary goal of any product or service development. That's the customer centricity. Now, people will say, okay, we have this mindset, but what do we do? So again, design thinking is not invented by SAFe. It was there before. It can be used with Scrum also. It can be used with Kanban or something else as well. So what is design thinking? It's a incremental, iterative way of solving customer problems. So it's like, rather than jumping to a solution, rather than doing big planning, using some technique which help us in well defining the problem first, then defining the solution alternative, and then experimenting it with those solution alternative, and redefining the problem and redefining the solution in the continuous iteration. That's the original intent of agile way of working as well. So in the design thinking space, we use some jargons, we use some terminology, and here you see some two diamonds. Many times this is also called double diamond approach. So you have a two diamonds. Now what are these diamonds? We are saying whenever we have a problem, we don't jump to solve a problem, rather we apply diversified thinking. We think what all could be leading to this problem statement, what could be the real problem. So we do a brainstorming, we generate various ideas, and then we converge, we finalize what is the real problem. So this becomes a diamond. We expand and then we come back, converge and define something. So first we do it for defining the problem, and then same approach we take for defining the solution. We have a problem defined, then we diversify it and focus on set-based design in a way, identify various possible ways this particular problem can be solved, and then we converge which is a better way of doing. While doing conversion and diversion, sometimes you may take some incremental delivery approach. You demonstrate a prototype, you demonstrate a MVP part of it, as some of you pointed out in the continuous or frequent delivery based approaches. So you release something and then you learn, and then you adapt that back. So that's the design thinking approach. Now, from a SAFe perspective, there are various tools and technique which can help us in applying these ideas. Yeah. These four are discussed more in the subsequent slides. The Gemba walk is like observation, go and see. So wherever the problem is happening, rather than listening problem from the people, why don't you go and see yourself the problem? That's the Gemba walk. Prototyping is something that, rather than only talking about the solution, creating a working prototype of it, MVP part of it, demonstrate it, take a feedback, or release it, take a feedback, and based on that, refine it. That's a prototyping technique. So these two are not that much declared or exploited here, but the persona, empathy mapping, journey map, and story mapping are used as a tool for gathering or talking about the requirement. These are requirement exploration tools. They can be used without SAFe also, but in a SAFe world, we are reminding the product management when they are working at a ART backlog level, they are expected to apply tools like these to discover the feature. Yeah, so that's a relevance of design thinking and customer centricity. If any question I can resolve, else I get into the details of these four techniques of design thinking. The focus is product management role. Remove
Epic and features. Epics and features are like one complete function or a feature which is big and complex enough. Or
yeah, so we'll discuss exact details of what is epic and what is feature, but at this level we can say epic might be constituting 10-20 features and feature
Okay.
might be constituting 10-20 user stories.
Okay.
So epic will get divided into 10-20 features. Each feature will get divided into 10-20 user stories. Epic contains big requirement, feature contains business requirement, which is smaller than epic and bigger than user story. Yeah. So that is
And
detailed.
epics can not necessarily run. Epics can run for multiple release. Let's say planning intervals, right? It not necessarily be one planning interval.
Perfect. That's something we'll also, but that's a true statement. Yes. Yeah. Epic can run multiple planning intervals and multiple agile release stream can work on the same epic. That's also a possibility. We will learn that, but yeah, that's the statement. Good. So coming back to design thinking idea, we are saying that okay, but we learned that we need to have little more exploratory approach to understand our feature before we can document them. We need to define the problem well, define the understanding of the problem well, and then we will get into defining the solution in a multiple approaches and then we validate them. So how do we do it? Let's learn about these four features which can help us in doing some part of design thinking activity. So user personas, some of you might be using it with your Scrum teams, some of you might be using it with your waterfall teams also. There is nothing wrong in using user personas irrespective of way of working. So what is user persona? It is more about understanding or giving a little humanistic approach to your user. If you have a named user, so say I am a cashier and I'm giving my requirement to you, you are making software for a bank, then you just take a requirement from a cashier. Sometimes you may not necessarily create a user persona. But when you are working software or creating software for masses, and you don't have a direct connection with the person who will really use the product, and maybe just talking about the requirement may not give a complete picture of the requirement to your developer as well as to your product owners, you better create a typical character who is your target segment user who is going to use your product so that people can shake hand with him virtually, hypothetically, but you know the person who is a target user for your product. So defining that person as a human is a user persona. You can say, okay, the person is of this age, the person lives in this area, he spent time on mobile like this much, he uses this particular mobile, he is having this particular office life, family life, he's this amount of familiarity with the technology, this amount of familiarity with the social stuff, you know the person now. Yeah, maybe talking about the apps he use, maybe Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, or whatever the kind of time he spends on different applications. Why we do it? So that people start relating to the person's requirement. Anyone can say, oh, I'm developing an e-commerce site and I want to search a product. Now, search a product looks very simple, yeah, or maybe a universal. But if we put a persona behind it, when I'm searching a product as a working professional, when I'm searching a product as a college student, when I'm searching a product as a housewife, my requirement may have little extension to it. Yeah? So my filter criteria will be different. So when we start thinking a target particular personas, we start getting many requirements which may not be getting stated very clearly, and having the persona in mind can help us in understanding the dimensions of various requirements. So as a product manager, I am better create a typical persona. There could be more than one, which are our target segments. And I better keep talking about those personas with my development team, with my product owners, so they get a better understanding of my features and user stories. So that's the user persona to understand what the person might really need. User personas may not change very frequently. The person's personality may remain same, but how this person probably think about our product may change every month based on change in the mobile, based on the change in the competitor, based on the change in the environment, based on the changing in the economic sector. The person's reaction or adaptability or preference to our application may change. And in order to capture that, periodically it is expected the product management conduct something called empathy mapping. So empathy mapping is getting into the shoe of that persona and saying, what this persona might be thinking now about our product, what they are trying to do, what they are unable to do, what are the options they are getting, what are they are feeling good, what are they are feeling bad, what they are doing right now, and what they may end up doing because of what is happening in the environment. So we do that, and this thing is done frequently. Now somebody will say, why are you doing all this messy thing? To understand the expectation of our target customer. And that understanding of expectation may lead to some features and the technological requirements. But as of now, we are not yet talking about technological features. We are just trying to connect and understand the need and expectation of our target customer. So this tool, Empathy Map, is a collection of questions. It is expected that people answer these questions, and they get to know what your target segment is expecting. The major issue is who is answering this question. That person who is going to use your application is not in front of you. Even if you catch someone, their answer may not represent the masses. So collecting the empathy or getting a real feeling of the customer is a guessing game. It's an artistic thing. There is no scientific answer that this is right or this is wrong. But we need to validate it. We take something and we validate by way of acting or reacting on it. And then we see in which direction we are going. But our best guess is business owners. So business owners, with the help of product management, are the one who run this activity very, very carefully, because they are the one who are interacting with those users who will be using this application, or end customers who will be using these applications. They help us in guessing these answers periodically. Product management should be facilitating these exercises, and based on this learning, they create a common understanding of the problems, the challenges our target customer is facing, which help us in discovering right features and the work items for our agile release stream. You can try it out yourself. There is a activity I'm giving you as a homework because it's a product management job. Else it will just consume 10-15 minutes in our class. So there is in your digital workbook, you have a set of questions. Each question has a further detailed question of, I think, 3-4 questions for each segment. And if you pick up a target product and target customer segment in your mind, if you try to answer it, it may help you in connecting with your customer, which helps you in identifying their pain and expectation, and that helps you in creating a better product later on. So that's an empathy mapping. So we learned two tools, user personas and empathy mapping. Both are interrelated. Any question on these two tools?
These tools are used in the design thinking. They're used under the problem space, just to identify customer requirements, right? So it's more
defining the problem, not requirement yet. Defining the needs and problem. Requirement, we are just getting there.
What I understood is personas and empathy maps tells what is required. What do I need, or what is my preference segmenting them?
So that's the difference between need and requirement. So your need will lead to a requirement.
Okay, so the define is just the need, and
basically there, because the requirement is the further interpretation of a need. So for example, I need to get rid of coordination when I am getting my delivery made. I'm suffering because of a lot of coordination is needed sometime here and there. So now, what is a requirement? Requirement could be a one-click solution for my order. We can say the customer needs a one-click solution. So we convert that particular problem or a need into a requirement that, okay, we need to give a streamlined process so that person checkout can be done in a one click.
And are these like renamed lean tools or what is it? Because what I see is there's a close relationship between brainstorming, where we try to understand what a customer.
Brainstorming in a different way. So these are nothing to do, nothing invented by SAFE. They were there 20 years before the SAFE got initiated, 2011.
No, no, I agree
Yeah.
to you.
And the idea is brainstorming is a very generic word which can be given to even this class we are doing brainstorming in a way. So now all these tools are facilitating brainstorming in a structured manner. So we can say here we are doing brainstorming with the help of slides and agenda. Yeah. So similarly, we give a brainstorming a structure that guys, you need to come up with this output. You need to create these 5 answers out of it and then think about it. Then
Yeah.
brainstorm and fill the answers. Yeah.
No, I understand it. The only question is that are there renamed tools? For example, when I did my lean, I studied like affinity diagram and a lot of the 7 quality tools which we use.
These are not quality tools. These are not
So-
quality tools. These
Okay.
are customer understanding tools.
Okay.
So user persona is used in a marketing space. So say you want to sell cars. Now you are a car seller. You need to understand the persona of the buyer. If you are selling a $3,000 car, you may have a different customer segment. If you are selling a $30,000 car, you need to have a different customer segment. Now you need to understand what the customer of $30,000 car has a like and preferences about. You need to empathize with the $30,000 customer when you are selling a $30,000 car. Then you speak their language. Yeah, that's a persona. So it is used in the marketing world, it is used in the website designing world, because we need to understand a type of questionnaire. You will not talk about cost, efficiency, economics of fuel, someone who's buying a $30,000 car. But you will talk about economics of fuel when the car is sold in a $3,000. Though the feature is relevant in both the cases, but customer preferences are different. That's the tool.
Okay.
It is not defect finding, it's not root cause finding, it's not Pareto analysis, it's not a flow chart, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
customer thing. Yeah. So not 7 quality tools. Good. So personas, empathy maps. Anything else, anyone? So ideally, by doing it, you know your customer now. Now here we are doing user journey map. So on the day 1, yesterday when we were doing the documentation thing, I think we end up getting a one flow. And I say, this is not a flow of the value stream, but it's a user journey map. Yeah, that's the thing. I think Room 2 was creating it. So this is what we are heading towards. We are learning something called user journey map. What is that? So it is like talking about the flow of user interaction through the application. You can say, okay, if I am coming and ordering a food using app, how the overall journey goes. So you come, you search the product, you look at a delivery option, you order it, you make the payment, you get the delivery, you complain about it, or you fill a survey about it. So this becomes your whole journey. So there is a starting point and there is an ending point. And then in between you are interacting with the application. It is not a value stream. It looks like a flow, but it is a flow of your uses. That is called user journey map. How does it help? It helps us in understanding the features and pain areas in a little more functionality oriented, in a requirement oriented, and not just understanding the need that people want to get less interruptions and people want to have a smooth delivery. We understand what problem they are facing on a step-by-step manner. So we go and see the user journey map. So here is an example where someone is applying for a loan. They want to buy the house. You need to select the options, loan options. You need to understand the goals. You need to choose the right product, apply for financial check, and negotiate the sale, and finally get the loan. Yeah. So this is like the user flow. Say you are booking a food or ordering a food using the app. You may have a flow that you open the app, select the order, select the foods, order it, make the payment, and then track it, and then finally get the food, and the process is over. So we learn about various steps the user will take in order to achieve their journey. Now, who is this user? This is your target persona. So you have already identified the target persona. You already have an empathy with him. Now you are walking with that target persona step by step to understand how the user will achieve their user need. That tool is called user journey map. Now, at a various steps, we are trying to find out right now. The assumption here is this is already working, maybe not with the product, but some facilities are already there. Maybe some facilities are manual, but user is still able to do the journey. They are still buying food from us. So we try to understand at various steps what is working and what is not working. So for example, loan. We may already have a loan giving system. Maybe it is not fully system or automated, but there is a process. People can fill the application, maybe a paper application right now, and then they can check the financial details and negotiate and finally get the loan. So we try to understand the pain area and the good experience at each step. We also try to understand how the other parties are getting involved. Maybe bank is getting involved, our customer support is getting involved, all other parties other than our company. We look at our operational value stream interaction also. So we understand the overall journey. That user comes here, they give a call, they take a test drive, they select the right product, they look for financing option, then they do it, and then they take the car home, and that's the whole journey. And we understand in between the bank department plays a role, our inventory department plays a role, and we plays a role as an overall journey. So we understand that. Now we are trying to find out technological opportunities. So this becomes more feature oriented. We can say, okay, look for how can we improve this experience at this step with the help of technology. So rather than doing the whole empathy with the customer, we do step-by-step empathy with the customer. Okay, what problem they are facing when they are coming for a test drive? What problem they are facing when they are getting the approval intimation about the loan? What problem they are facing when they are coming to take a delivery? And how these problems can be improved with the help of technology. Probably we need to have a notification, we need to have a scheduling system which can make the wait time less for the test drive. We can have a pre-configuration set so that the delivery of car can be done in a faster space. So various things we can explore, and those things may become a feature for our agile release train. So that's another way of getting into the details and understanding the feature. So we can say persona was very high level understanding, empathy was little deeper, and then user journey map is a like further level tool which is more focusing on solutioning part. Now we are talking about what kind of functionality, what kind of a requirement we should look at so that we create a right products. So another tool. Yeah. Now final tool for a product ownership space. Yeah, product management. But this one is more product owner side, the fourth one, and we call it user journey map. Now what does that mean? Assuming by doing user story mapping, yeah, but with the user journey map, you have created the features. Now we need to identify user stories are inside the feature. So the user story mapping, which is this called, or many times also called story maps, help us in understanding and discovering user stories inside the feature. So say I may have a feature, search or say check out a book. I'm running a e-commerce application and I want to have a checkout feature. Now I need to understand what is a entry criteria for a feature and what is an exit criteria for a feature. Maybe my entry is I have a search list in front of me. So search list is an entry criteria. I have listed search the desired product, and my exit criteria could be proceed to payment. I'm just hypothetically telling, and this is my feature in between is a checkout. Yeah. Now product owner, I'm using a word product owner. Usually it is happening before the PI planning meeting so that we create the initial set of user stories. Product owner or maybe working with the product management also will say, okay, what all steps we need to do in order to do a checkout activity. Let's not talk about user story. So somebody will say, I need to know the product. Yeah, maybe some more details. I need to find out shipping options. I probably need to find out packaging options. And I need to find out probably a payment options. And I choose all these things. Is it okay? These all are steps you take. Now it is kind of a journey map of a small feature. The journey map was the overall goal of the user, but here we are drilling down inside a particular feature. Then we are saying, okay, you need to do these steps. What could be the user stories inside it? Then you can say, okay, no, Maybe I want to know the description of the book. Maybe I want to know about the writer. Maybe I want to read the reviews. So these all will become user stories. Now shipping, I may want to have a default shipping. I may want to have an express shipping. Packaging, I may want to have a default packaging. I may want to have a gift packaging. Payment, I may want to have a credit card payment. I may want to have some other options of the payment like a bank and etc. So these all are my small things which will go inside that feature, and they all are candidate user stories. So this technique helps us in discovering user stories for a given feature. Now the another objective of this technique is we can prioritize this user story for each step also. We can say, okay, for this steps, which knowing story is more important for you. So we may identify the key stories for each step, and there is a possibility sometime we can say, oh, this could be our basic feature and this could be our advanced feature. So we can even split the feature into basic and advanced, and we can say the basic will help us in having default everything. You can search, you can take a default shipping, you can take a default packaging, and you can pay by credit card. The checkout is done. But we will work on the advanced one where we have more details which you can learn about the product. You can do various kind of shipping selection, you can do various kind of packaging selection, but that is our next feature. So that's another utility of doing user story mapping. So 4 tools: personas, empathy map, user journey map, and user story map. Actually, these 4 tools are product management tools. The last one is a product owner tool also. But since we are doing leading safe, we should have some understanding that how possibly the requirement will get explored, discovered when we are working in the agile context. Yeah. Not necessarily in just a safe context, it can be used beyond safe also. Any question, comment on these 4 tools? I know this becomes a little theory again because there are a lot of ideas in a one go, but
this is primarily driven by the product manager or product management along with the BO, right?
Perfect. Yeah. So we are learning what is driven by the product management, and we learned as our the Jamboard file. This is a regular activity. You should not consider it as a one-time job. Personas might be one-time job, maybe not updated frequently, but this is a regular activity. And we learned that this is happening here and this keeps happening here. And as a result of it, we identify features in a funnel area, and later on we will analyzing them, and then we will put the refined features into ART backlog. So this is called ART backlog refinement. No dedicated meeting. Product management can find out, and these are the key players who will play role there: business owners, product owners, and system architect, because technological flow may also be needed to be considered before you can understand the feature well. And you manage it with the help of program Kanban board. So you keep adding these ideas. You take the idea for analyzing stage, add more acceptance criteria to it, and then when everything is well understood, you put into a program or an ART backlog, not program backlog, ART backlog. But anything else?
So this more like answers like what project management is doing for the 4 iterations.
You can see
this is all they are doing.
Yeah, so product management, just a one word change, but yes, that's the right thing. So the product managements are expected to continue doing this job here and then later on there. The objective is just before the innovation and planning iteration, I should have a ready, freshly brewed ART backlog. Fresh, yeah, not like I created 1 year in advance. Good. Anything else, anyone? So we learned, we get